Hey, good evening, everybody. Blackball, Jaybird, Pudgy, Large, Stephen Morton, um, excuse me. Where was it? Yeah. Patty, I said Pudgy, Master Disaster. What's up? Uh, Jaybird asked a good question. They said, when do you know if it's okay to still reuse brake cables? Pudgy was saying that once the ends are frayed, they're nearly impossible to get back through the housing. But Morton said that if you put a layer of black tape, then cut them, you can get a clean cut on them. I always wondered that myself, like not so much for getting them, even with shift cables. I'm like, if they still look clean, say, there's no rust, there's nothing like no burrs or anything, is it fine to reuse them? So when I rebuild a bike, if I'm not just switching out something simple, I've always just put new cables, or when I get a vintage bike, new cables and housings are always one of the first things. Obviously, if I get an old vintage bike that's been in a garage, the cables are probably do have some like micro rust and stuff on them. But yeah, if I just replace like a shifter and I'm able to, or something small, or if it's just a lever and I'm able to not ruin the cable and not have to rerun it through the housing, I'll use the same same cable. But yeah, something I've wondered about a little bit too. I'm like, can I reuse this? It looks super clean, but yeah. Would you say, Pudgy, long as it looks clean and you can get it through the housing?
Richard Parrish subscribed to the channel.
Thanks, Richard. Welcome aboard. So, yeah, would you say if you have a clean enough end and the cable looks clean, is it fine to always reuse them? But what's up, Muskrat? What's up, Reliable Waste? Uh, Morton said you got to make sure the steel isn't kinked at all. Yeah, that's what I would think, long as it looks just clean and straight and all that. What's up, Permasleep? Jasmine, how's it going? Twan? Keith Eddington, what's up? You said you change your mind once per year. No valid reason. It's just you. Got a pro tip. I'm drinking some of my kava mixed in coconut water, which I really like. The coconut water I'd been buying from the CVS across the street. I was at the grocery store and they had Goya for much cheaper, and I got one with pulp. And when I've gotten the other brands, some is like very like almost like white and on the milkier side, and some is very clear. I don't really understand what their labels mean, but this stuff said with pulp, and I was just thinking it was going to be like, whoops. I bumped my monitor power. I thought it was going to be like orange juice pulp. There's no way I could show this on the stream. I don't. Yeah, well, I don't have focus with this camera, but it is literally. You might be able to see at the end of the spoon, just white chunks of coconut in there. It is the weirdest thing. So, if you're thinking about getting into drinking coconut water for any reason, I would avoid the Goya with pulp. It's unless you really love coconut. So, anyways, what's up, Nathan Mace? Pudgy said, yeah, if it travels smoothly through the housing and it's clean, there's no reason you couldn't reuse it. All right. One of the bikes that I picked up in Pittsburgh, one of the vintage mountain bikes, it was the Stump Jumper, because I took that one apart. Obviously, I haven't taken the other ones apart. It was the thickest brake cable I had ever seen in my life by far. I'll take a picture for the Discord later for you guys, and I don't know if it's like a, you know, it's an older thing because it's an older bike. And cantilevers did they sometimes use, but I have never seen a brake cable as thick as this. So I didn't pay attention to if the housing has to be different. But what's up, Sam Diaz? How you go? How's it going? Man. Oh, Jaybird, you said if you're just switching levers, it would be okay. I would say yeah, because I mean, I do. I just put a new lever on the Marin, and I didn't, I only built that bike up last spring, so I didn't change the cable or the housing. Holler Dollar, you said it's like nature's boba tea? Yeah. I mean, I could see it all like sink into the bottom in the glass, or even when I stir it. Oh, you could see this, right? Look at this. It's just. It's not bad. I just don't know if anyone wants a drinking sensation where, like, when I first poured it out of the can, I thought it was like, I'm like, what the hell is in here? I thought something was wrong. And it also makes me apparently spray it and not say it. Jimmy Miller says, great with the pulp, but lower sugar version. No added sugar with pulp is the Shiat after a summer ride in the summer. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. This stuff, the Goya is much sweeter. I didn't read the ingredients. This is a sugary drink, so I've been getting cartons, and I don't know the name of the other brand, but there's no sugar added in it, and it's much less sweet than this. So, well, I usually read labels. This was kind of a mistake, but oh well. Oh, and this has a lot of preservatives too. So, yeah, not recommended. Don't get the Goya. There's a bunch of garbage in here. The other, oh, it even has sulfites. Yeah, the other brand I've been drinking doesn't have any of this stuff in there. So, well, that's how you learn. Jasmine asked if I still use the Renee Hurst knobbies for my everyday ride. Yeah, I use the Hurricane Rigid 42 millimeters on my Raleigh that I ride every time. Then you asked if I've ever considered Renee Hurst wide slicks and or a second wheel set. Not really a second wheel set for that bike since it's quick release. It just makes it a little bit more of a pain. But the knobbies roll so fast that I wouldn't really invest in a second wheel set probably just for that reason. But Otis does always try to tell me to get the Renee Hurst slicks on one of my bikes, like fat Renee Hurst slicks, because he says he just loves them. I rode him on something. I think maybe when I borrowed his Warbird, it had Renee Hurst slicks on it. I can't remember though. But I don't know. He even told me for the oh, I didn't turn on the GoPro. I was going to show it. Sneak in a gunner build photo that I should go slicks on there, but I think I might end up taking that bike mountain biking too, since it has 55s. Let's see if it. Nope. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I still went with the whatever the 55 Renaires with knobbies are, but it'd be cool to have the slicks on something, because maybe even. Do they make slicks in 26-inch wheels for 26-inch wheels? Because that might be a cool one. Because the Marin, I really don't need as an off-road bike anymore. With the Gunner and the Raleigh, that might be cool to put slicks on it. But what's up, Dylan? Coconut water with espresso in it, Patty Redbeard. I haven't seen that actually. Jasmine, you have the 48 millimeter Oracle knobbies and you love them. Yeah. So Pudgy said, oh, God, keep spitting those little coconut chunks out of my mouth. um, Briefly, there were thicker brake cables on some bikes, but that didn't really last. Okay. I think you're right, Sam. That might be Vita Coca. When we take a break, I actually did make a new members video. I could see it in the recycling bin over there, but I can't read it from here. But oh yeah, that was a War Road. Good night, Aaron. Oh yeah, I didn't get the chance to talk to you. Dave left right before I started streaming. My buddy, who I've talked about for everyone else, he's doing some work with me. Right now, we're doing maintenance stuff on the building, but end up doing some video work too together and some other photography projects down the road. So I forgot I could have asked him if he wanted to stay for the stream tonight, but we'll do that one night too, because he'd have an interesting story. Because he was when we were hanging out a long time ago, he was cycling a lot, and now he works for Metro Parks and does maintenance on the bike paths and stuff like that. So it could be a good conversation. Pudgy said, consider putting the 26-inch Rene Hearses on your park bike. Yeah. Muskrat said, maybe I could hook up a bike-powered juicer on my indoor trainer for the next live stream. Juice my own coconuts. Well, you don't have to juice coconuts, do you? You just cut them in half, right? The water's just in there. Oh, Dylan has the 26 by 2.3 Renaires on your cargo bike, and you said they're so fast. Nice. Hey, what's up, Astro Smurf? Go Cycling said, hello from northern Michigan. How far north? Are you are you a Youper or just northern regular Michigan? Hey, what's up, Tim? Hello from northern Colorado. Nice. Oh, I need to make a new bean emoji. We don't have the bean emoji anymore. I need to make a bunch of new emojis. That's on my list. I got a members video posted today. I got a new members thanks video so we could take the breaks in the middle of the live stream again. And now adding some new emojis for the YouTube chat and the Discord are the next thing on the list. So Jimmy said Pirelli Centurato M is an intriguing tire. I'll pull that up in a minute. Oh, did you post a set for sale, Pudgy, in the Discord? Tim is refurbishing an 02 Rocky Mountain Instinct for the season. Nice. Sam, yeah, me and Aaron signed up for Jeff Friend's Hodag. I think while we were watching the stream, and then I know Funny Brad signed up as well, and a couple of the Joy Machines guys from Cleveland have signed up as well. So should be a good Ohio contingent out there. If the stream cuts out tonight, I think we can name Goya's Thugs as a prime suspect. Is it pronounced Gunnar or Gunner? I've always just said Gunner, but the brand's named after, I think it's Richard Schwinn's dog. And this, I don't know if they all do. This one has a dog on the down tube, a picture of the dog. Tim said it's Siberia there right now. Today's really cold here. I don't think it really got. It didn't even hit the high. I think it stayed at about 22. I had a plan to do a ride and make a video out of it, and then this week is a super busy work week, and Thursday and Friday I have 2 full days of shooting, and Thursday evening I have a shoot after those shoots, so I have a bunch of products here, so I just rode on the trainer today, but I didn't feel that bad about it because it was so cold out. So Astro Smurf said, not a Youper, a troll they call it, about 2 hours north of Lansing, about 3 hours from Detroit. Okay, gotcha. I haven't been, I don't think I've been farther north and west than Ann Arbor in Michigan. Well, I take that back. When I was a kid, I was out somewhere, but I don't remember. It was, but I don't remember. Jaybird said your Swedish dad's name is Gunnar, but it's pronounced Gunnar. Huh. Nah, Otis always says Gunnar, and when I asked him who he talks to when he calls to order bikes out there, because I know someone I can't remember who said they had a problem like getting a hold of like Gunnar in the right way. He said Richard Schwinn is who he talks to, so I'm sure if Otis was saying I need a couple more Gunnars, he would be corrected. So. Holler Dollar, I haven't really considered doing Mid-South. It's such a hike, and there's other stuff going on around here at that time, and also that mud stuff that like ruins people's bikes is not really my cup of tea, I don't think. So I would say I don't, like, I mean, I've thought about it, but yeah, and with the whole lottery system is kind of frustrating because, if I want to go that far, I would want to go that far with my friends. So that's kind of what's ruled Mid-South out for me. Oh, Tim, you grew up in Bryan, Ohio. Well, I've been there because went to Bryan, Ohio. We hiked in the old growth forest, whatever that state park is right outside of Bryan. And now there's that brewery that's in an old church, which is really cool. Father John's, a really awesome spot, old church. And they serve buffalo from the owner's farm that's in Indiana. So kind of cool. Oh, Sam, you're going to go to Hodag? Awesome. Hodag. I think there's going to be a lot of people there. I think that's what I started to say before I talked to other comments. I was looking at the pictures from last year, and there's people I've met now at Nutmeg and Higher Ground. So I'm hoping a lot of people that I've got to know, people we know on the stream and everything. That'll be cool. Should be a good time. It's a hike from here. I think Aaron said it was like a 10-hour drive. So. Oh, Master of Disaster, you ended up ordering the Space Horse, you said? Nice. Awesome. Congratulations. I'll look forward to see your build photos. Muskrat, you were saying it'll be good to see my opinion on the Magic Shine radar. It's not good for heavy traffic. Yeah, I definitely want to make sure I also take it on country roads. So I don't want to like talk about it when I know it's already in a situation that I think I'm not going to like it in. So I'll do it everywhere to get an opinion on it. But yeah. Yeah, I think some of the supply chain stuff, Master of Disaster, has really calmed down. It just depends. Other things, there's still weird things that are way backed up, but. Oh, Astro Smurf, they call that a troll because you live under the Mackinac Bridge. So. And Pudgy said it is pronounced Gunner. So. That's right, Blackball. Blackball said on the fence about the single speed Nature Cross. Did a lot of you guys watch that interview with Jeff Frayne from? He's kind of, I guess, the safe founder of All City, but yeah, now he does wild bikes. It was a really good interview. Like I said, Russ actually pulled up my comment, but we were told the story before, but we were standing in line for pizza at Nutmeg, and he turned around and was like, "How was your ride?" It was just like this, such a friendly, nice dude, and you could see from the interview how he just seems like easygoing, cool, really cool guy. But it was like we were walking away with our pizza after, and Ben was like, "Oh, that's the founder of All City." I was like, "Oh, no shit." What's up, Jay Dandy? I am not keeping up at all with the comments. Tim said, bought my 99 FSR that you still ride today from Summit Cycles in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Nice. Chris, you think that Wild will be your next bike? Yeah. Muskrat asked if has Gunner's siblings Waterford come up with any gravel bikes. Now, I think that's part of the reason Waterford, they started Gunner was to not like make Waterfords that weren't road bikes. That's the vibe I get. So the Waterfords are the lugged road bikes, and the Gunners are the air-hardened, more adventure bikes. And all Waterfords are fully custom, and Gunners, it's your choice if you want them stock or custom. So. Colbert's Bike Shop, or is it Colbert? is a hidden gem in Northwest Ohio. Huh. I'm not familiar with it. Outside of Eden, Ohio. We'll have to pull up a map for Eden, Ohio, because that is, with all the places we've ridden and all the places I've had photo shoots, that is not one I've been. And like Brian, we went, me and my girlfriend at the time, specifically for. Oh, okay. Wait, did it say Eden? Oh, Eden Township. Okay, I see it. Okay, on the way to Findlay, Upper Sandusky. I've been there for a photo shoot. So, all right. Brian's a hike from here. Brian's like way out there. Let's see. Flying over, Trout asked if I've ever overtrained and how I did recover. I don't know. I mean, I've had sciatic nerve problems, and I don't think it's from overtraining. I think it's from not doing enough other, lateral moving exercises. But also, when people say train, I'm never quite sure what they mean because I don't really train. Like, I ride my bike all the time and I ride on the trainer, but I don't do workouts or anything like that. So, just yeah, I don't really think my sciatica stuff is overuse. I've kind of called it an overuse injury, but I think it's more of not doing the other stuff, when you ride over 6,000 miles a year. And the way I recover is with sciatica is taking Advil until it starts to go away. But yeah, feels like it just takes time. But yeah, I'm not the right person to ask that question, I guess, since I'm more of a just ride my bike how and where I want to all the time. Oh, Patty, you ended up buying that MB2? Nice. Pudgy, you said you can't do Russ for very long, just too much for you? Huh. On his live streams, well, I mean, he doesn't bother me on anything, to be honest, but he's usually lets the guest talk a lot, so I didn't, that's interesting to hear. I mean, I was talking to Large about this when we were riding bikes, and I know we've talked about it before, but different YouTubers' personalities, like, either connect with you or don't. Because I was saying how Francis Cade is someone I like watching, even though I don't really care about roadie stuff that much. But just the way he films his videos and his personality, I like it. And Large was like, I don't really like watching him. And then, yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people who flip on some of my videos and they're like, oh, I can't stand that dude. Don't like the sound of his voice or whatever, So, hey, what's up, William LeBron? How you doing? Let's see if I could catch up. Christmas Collins said, Russ, you do audio only, don't need to watch jump cuts. Did you see my talking? I did do a talking head video with no B-roll, and I just put a crossfade on it, but I've never done that. I've never done a straight video with no other footage in it. But with the topic I was covering, I didn't feel like it made sense to put B-roll in there. I didn't feel like anything should be, I just wanted to cover the topic like straight to camera. And I guess it worked out because that video has done pretty well. What the hell was that? Sam Diaz said, "My takeaway from Jeff Rain is if you want to start a bike brand, get a warehouse job." Yeah. Um, for those who haven't watched it, Jeff started in the warehouse of QBP. So, how deep into Brian have I been? uh, ah, Master of Disaster has posted Gunner at Bike Shop in Raleigh. So beautiful. Yours for 5K. That's a. Oh, nice. Oh, built with the rims I have um, on my gravel bike. Couple Gunners there, huh? Is that an electronic group set? Is that part of the, well, got weight industry cranks? Oh, yeah. And electronic shifting. Is that a Thompson seat post? Yeah. That's a pricey build there. Looks sweet, though. Marley said, riding bikes for fun and drinking beers. I match what you want to watch. Awesome. Hey, what's up, Eduardo? You said you love Francis Cade. I really enjoyed his riding across the country thing. It was still a little annoying because I'm like, man, they're riding all the way across the country and not stopping anywhere cool, but I still really enjoyed watching the videos. But, you know, they'd go through like all the cool little cities and towns or parks, but they didn't spend any time. They were just like on the mission to raise money for the charity and didn't do anything fun. Like we're watching Terry B's like ride across the country over the summer where they're stopping for beers and lunch and, you know, but still really enjoyed it. Jimmy said, so back to the injury thing. Been doing yoga, trying to get rid of the discomfort. Takes a lot to keep this show on the road. Yeah, and that's where I'm at. So now that I'm feeling good, I'm not taking any Advil or anything. It's been a while. I'm actually like, that's what is that? Been able to start getting this place in order. But yeah, I'm just trying to do a lot more stretching and, you know, like getting warm. Like even after I ride the trainer, then I do stretching once I'm all warmed up. So yeah, just trying that stuff. I just gotta stick with now. It's just I'm 44 and yeah. Jaybird said you found walking and hiking to be helpful for you. Plus, hike a bike is fun. Yeah, when my sciatic was bad, I could barely like. I would limp over to the Dunkin' in the morning so I could eat something and take Advil, and then like limp back here. It was rough. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Robin? Robin said Robin and Pixel Wolf checking in. How's it going, guys? We were just talking about. I don't know how close Jeff Rance Hodag is to Minneapolis, but I assume we'll see a bunch of guys out that way. Russ is the Van Halen of cycling YouTubers. Jump. Muskrat said walking cure to sciatica. Man, I I tried. I would get over to Duncan and I'd have to like I couldn't keep my legs straight. I'd have to kneel down. Yeah, I'd have to kneel down halfway there sometimes. Pudgy said drinking pulpy coconut water cured your sciatica. I am actually kind of annoyed this turned out to be a sugary bullshit drink, but with just chunks of coconut dumped into it. Ernest Angley, yeah. I'm right down the street from Ernest Angley. I should go over there and get healed. Oh, Tim had 2 surgeries on herniated discs. I'm glad mine is slipping back into place. I could tell it is. I'm going to get through every comment. Yoga, yeah. Like I'm not doing like a yoga routine per se, but like the stuff I'm doing is yoga exercises. So yeah, Sam, the dude who Justin, who rode across the country on the hand bike, just yeah, amazing. One thing I know I'm going to lose the comments again though, because I see what's up. Keith said +1 for walking. I watched a really good video with Aaron. We found like a really good video on sciatica, and sciatica is a symptom, not a what do you call it? The problem. It's a symptom of a problem. And there's three main things that cause sciatica. So they were saying that like he had ways to test what you had and then what the cure should be. So depending on what is going on with your back, or it could be a muscle issue, the performance, I think, is whether, walking helps or laying down helps. So there's a number of things. So if walking was like helping you guys with your sciatica, you had a different cause of sciatica than I did, probably, most likely. So, Hollerdauer said those Wild Bikes for Joy Machine team look nice. Yeah, they're beautiful because seen them all up close, and our buddy Woody has one. They're really cool bikes. And then Large said Maps cured his sciatica. Dang it. Let's see. Master of Disaster said he's trying to cut back on drinking, only drinking when you ride. Now you find yourself riding all the time. Nice. Some nut pulp in my throat for sure. Hey, what's up, Pixel Wolf? There he is. Said yoga has been so beneficial for him lately. Yeah, getting started now too, because I know you're a little younger. I mean, I wish I would have just probably been doing more of this stuff before I had problems. Would have been helpful, preventative, and that's what I say with the lateral stuff, even lateral strength training, like laying on my side doing clamshells. That's the kind of stuff that I feel like really helps. Like core strengthening for cyclists is a big deal. You don't get it on the bike, and then other things go wrong over time. So, what's up, Raymond? Maps cures what ails you. Oh, Tim said your sciatica was a blocked uh, herniation. So left leg dropped a foot and went left leg dropped a foot and went numb for a year. Jeez. Yeah, this time I've had it like so. This is the third time, and it was on like a 2 year. It's been on exactly 2 year intervals, and the other two times it was bad, but it just over a couple months just got better, and I was able to do some stretching. This time there was just a few months where I was just maintaining getting by. But like I've said, it didn't hurt me on the bike at all. So I'd ride my bike. It just hurt me when I stopped. So Tim said second surgery got to 80. Now you're at 90. No. Yeah, Chris saying 15 and 20 minutes. Good stretching before and after the ride. Oh, Robin, you do your same ride around the same. You do your own ride around the time of Hodag. Nice. Pixel, you said you're more cramped when you're not riding daily. I mean, if I don't get out for a while, I do start to feel kind of like tight and all that, but I just really do need to combine it with other stuff. So, yeah, even Robin talking about that 40 miles in the snow. Even watching right before the day that Jeff was on Pathless Pedaled, he was posting Instagram stories with his beard covered in ice and it was 5 degrees. And today when it was like 20 and I was like, man, I don't feel like going out there in the 20 degrees. I'm like, man, Jeff was out riding in 5. But it just goes to show we all have you know, our own cold tolerance, and where you live is going to play into that. So, Tim, you said you couldn't work; they wouldn't let you. That's one of my problems. Is I'm a freelancer, so if I don't work, I don't get paid. The event shoots I was doing this fall in and early winter were so tough to be on my feet for those. I would literally have to like pretend like I was tying my shoe or looking at the back of my camera so I could kneel down and get off my feet for a minute. But I was like making sure I was timing Advil to a T, 3 extra Advil in my pocket. It was, yeah, not fun. Like I'm still when I wake up in the morning right now, like I'm like the Tin Man for as I get my coffee and breakfast going, and then I loosen up pretty quick right now. So it's way better, but I'm not 100%. But I finally like cleaned my kitchen for the first time. I feel like in forever because I just couldn't be in that like hunched position. So there's a lot out there about diet and how it affects the muscles. Yeah, and there's supposed to be certain things like turmeric that are like really good for like inflammation and stuff like that. But yeah, drinking too much is surely not a benefit. It's the same thing like some of you were saying, cut back. That's why last week I kind of failed at my cutting back, but overall I've been trying to cut back. So the way you worded that, Muskrat, just think of our ancient ancestors. If they had sciatica and couldn't keep up with the walking, they would pop a cap in their ass. Yeah, or you just get eaten by something, right? You know, depends on how far back we're going. Dylan said he's been having some calf pain all month. Frustrating trying to figure it out and heal it, but at least it's the worst riding month of the year. Yeah, for sure. It's weird because my sciatica, and I know it's a nerve thing, it's not real, really manifests in the calf a little bit too. And I'm always trying to like stretch it out with my, fingers, and it's like, but it's not really the problem. So, oh, Large said it was -15 when they were out in the Arrowhead. Oh, yeah, no thanks. Eduardo asked if I've ever had a bike fit. I have not. Um, Is it worth it? I think for some people it's definitely worth it. Like some people like have a specific problem, they get a bike fit and it goes away. Um, Me and Jay Dandy were talking about this a little bit last time I saw him in person, and about how some people are super sensitive to the fit. Erin, like my girlfriend, is super sensitive to bike fit. Like if she changes, like if she goes from like shorts that have padding to, she'll like adjust her saddle accordingly. And I'm not really is like that, but I'm saying that of course I'm a guy who has problems. I really think like my sciatica and back stuff comes from my years of working on the farm, and now I need to do stuff to mitigate it, not from my cycling or my bike fit, but you know, maybe a bike fitter would tell me something different. Yeah. Oh, Robin, you were out on Monday and it didn't get above 0. Yeah, we haven't had that kind of cold. I mean, we had right around Christmas we had that blast that was pretty bad, but yeah. It's usually just not that cold long enough here for me to try and get used to it or find the right clothes. So low 20s is pretty typical for us. Tim said the arch is the only cramps, our foot arch is the only cramps you get now. Hate it, timing the Advil and the Tylenol. Yeah, it sucks. Advil's the only thing that works for me. It's funny. Like I've said this, but I got stronger stuff from people who had old OxyContin or Percocet or whatever sitting around, and all it did was make me feel like, oh, I feel a little buzzed and I'm still in pain. Whereas the Advil, its anti-inflammatory characteristics are the only thing that, not by the generic Advil, but uh, what ibuprofen. But yeah, that's the only thing that would work for my sciatica and give me some relief. But Pudgy said most who have gotten a proper bike fit are happy they did. Yeah. What Aleve too. Aleve does the same thing. The reason I didn't like using Aleve because if it wasn't working, like with its 12-hour, whatever, however long Aleve is supposed to last. Um, so when it did wear off, like say it wasn't working well, I didn't like that because with the Advil, at least I could like re-up at a different time. You know what I mean? I didn't like to double up on stuff, but yeah, Aleve would work. Yeah, leaves naproxen. Yeah. I took that to get through the nights a couple times because then I'm like, oh, I could sleep through the night because when the Advil would wear off in 5 hours, I would wake up in pain. But then I don't know. For some reason, it kind of just stopped working as well. But yeah, when I used to have all my bikes leaning in one spot, and when I looked across at them, like the bars and saddles would always end up in the exact same spot, no matter what the bike was. So I don't know. I feel like I have a range of comfort on the bike, and as long as I could get that bike to be fit close enough, I do all right. But yeah. Um, who said they were getting one? Oh, Sam said he's getting a fit on Friday. Uh, Colin, what's up? Colin said that he's getting a bike fit was huge for him. So, Master Disaster said sciatica was diagnosed. Yours was diagnosed as bone spurs. Went in for surgery and turned out to be a cyst on the nerve. No bone spurs, and cyst was missed on the MRI. Sometimes experts have no idea. Yeah, that's why I really like. I wish I had the link is on my. It would take too much scrolling. I'm not going to do it now, but I'll drop it in the Discord. This one video we watched with the sciatica stuff was really really good, and the testing the guy showed you to do to see which kind you had and what you should do about it seemed really good. Someone they might be in the stream tonight sent me the book about self-diagnosing back problems, which was interesting too, and I felt like was helpful. Some people swear by it. I'll drop both of those in the Discord because there's two things that I think I'll be using going forward. But hey, what's up, Josh? Uh, formerly, the YouTuber formerly known as Stoked on Spokes. I just watched your video about the bike cleaning. People always ask me to post one. I am not nearly as like don't do it nearly as good job of you, and I don't always degrease and all that stuff. So I haven't wanted to post it. And so I'm glad now I have a video that I could send people to of someone, that's not like GCN type stuff. So I'll send everyone your way, Josh, when they tell me to post a bike clean video. I also think with my basement and having a floor drain and having a hose down here, my bike cleaning setup is not relatable to most people because I'm lucky with that. But trying to catch up on this chat. But Jay Dandy was giving good advice. And then Pudgy's comment, be careful with that calf toe and they become cows. Oh, Lard, you're saying a bunch of people are still out at that snow ride right now, 37 hours and counting? Oh, hell no. Tim said that's all hydrocodone and oxycodone did for you, got you a buzz to babysit your pain. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't even enough to make me fully functional. Like, I remember 2 years ago, we were doing Ohio to Erie, and I was having sciatica pain then, and I took a couple, like, Percocets or one Percocet around the fire, and I was like, yeah, it's like when I'm just laying here, it's not too bad, but I could still feel it. But when it came to, like, riding or being functional, it didn't do me a lot of good. Eduardo said CBD is an alternative to pills. Yeah, I hear people. I'm not gonna discount it. I think you have to have as Pudgy said, like there needs to be a regimen. You need to be doing like a certain amount at a certain time. And I have not done the research. I would definitely rather take CBD than Advil. But I was in a point where it was like I didn't care. Like it was like any relief is what I was going to do, and there was not going to be time to figure out like the exact CBD regimen I needed and to be able to work. Whereas I could take Advil and then in 45 minutes be actually doing, showing up to the event I had to be at. So Nathan said, Tim, you're not 29 either. No, I'm 44. Yeah. So yeah, it's like I said, it's getting older, and a lot is the way I treated my body when I was younger. I believe I worked really hard jobs. Like I was a car wash guy forever, and but then when I was a farmer, I was always picking up heavy stuff and whatever, working long days. When we were working in the fields and stuff like that. So, Jaybird, you said you're a back sleeper and had to force yourself to be a side sleeper. I'm a stomach sleeper, and so it's been crazy because it's been like 6 months since I've been able to sleep on my stomach. So I'm getting used to the two sides and the back, trying to do it, but not easy. I also don't. I don't have much health insurance and stuff, so I don't go to the doctor. So Raymond asked if applying heat helps. A little bit. Nothing really helps when it's as bad as it was. And I do ice now, and then like alternate that with heat a little bit. That's also part of what I do. But and I do get Eduardo. I do get chiropractic adjustments here and there. This time that didn't help me. I felt like it did help me the last few times. So Dimitri, what's up? Said bike washing is the worst. Muskrat asked if I've ever tried Superfeet insoles. No, I haven't. Dimitri said he posted a how not to clean your bike video. Superfeet rule, you use them in your snowboard boots. I'll look into that. Yeah, Josh, if you had a good cleaning regimen, so it's worth. I don't degrease that much anymore. I used to like on my vintage bikes really degrease the chain and then wash it, then regrease it. Um, I don't. I usually just wash the bike, wipe the chain down really good, and relube it and wipe it off again. But I'm not recommending that. That's just where I'm at now. So Jay Dandy said heat is generally good for the back, but it can depend on the injury. Yeah, and I've had two different chiropractors tell me two different things about icing, but yeah, I feel like you stretch warm muscles and then you do some cold after. You never stretch cold muscles, but Tim said 1,000 milligram edibles did better than the pain pills. I can't. I just with what I have to do, I can't. I'm not good at. I don't like being high around people, so I just really don't get high anymore in any way. But and where so I need to stand. Like I stand at my standing desk, except when I've been like this bad, like I was previously. And I have like a really soft standing mat that I bought purpose for that. Because my back started, I think, another reason after all those years on the farm was all those years of editing. And when you edit, and I'm sure Dylan knows this in a seat, no matter what, no matter how hard you try to focus on sitting upright, you start looking at the screen, and I like, especially with me in photoshopping, I get like real close to the screen and start retouching stuff. So that's why I went full standing desk. And when my back's not back, I only sit when I'm like eating or watching TV at night, which would be TV for me just means YouTube. But Marley said you have medical oil, but it's for anxious ADHD. Better than real pills. Yeah, I need full like anti-inflammatory when my problem's bad. So two different things, I think. I totally can't keep up. Uh, Muskrat said ice then moist heating pad intervals is key. Yeah, that's what Aaron got me to do, and I just think that's supposed to help. Yeah. Keith, you're a retired car wash mechanic. No way. Yeah, I just got a job in my early 20s at the car wash. Then I worked there all through playing in bands all through my 20 and actually was a manager. And yeah, that is actually Dave, who I was talking about, who was over here earlier helping me out. That's how we met at the car wash. And then he became the drummer in my band. And then, yeah, we worked on the farm together forever, rode bikes together, stuff like that. Mono Lake said, got a shock absorbing seat post. Yeah, I've heard, like, when my back sometimes has been at, like, when I actually tweaked my back really bad, I could only ride on smooth roads there for a while. But when it doesn't see, like, I don't feel like that's a problem for me when I don't think it's what's leading to my problem or a problem for me in general. Like when I'm feeling fine, that doesn't really affect me. So, Josh asked if I've thought about going to a doctor of osteopathy. You went for your knee back in October, and she helped you out a lot. I haven't gone to any doctors. I probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but I haven't. No. I have this on live chat, but you guys keep referencing stuff I'm not seeing. Unless there's just typos. Master of Disaster, you said I should come out with a meditation channel. I think it's funny because I don't think anyone likes hearing the sound of their voice played back, your own voice. So it's funny to think that anyone would enjoy that. 1,000 milligrams for hibernation. What's up, Alejandro? You said Tiger Balm helps with aches, and they have. Yeah, I've been doing one thing that's helped too is Aaron gave me one of those like really. I have a foam roller, but it's like now again I'm getting back into using that. But when I was so bad, I just couldn't even get down in those positions to try and roll out the hamstring and up here in the back a little bit. But one of those really tight. What do you even call them? They're just like they look like racquetballs, but they're solid and sitting on the muscles that are really tight, like through my upper like my glutes and stuff until it like releases. That's helped too. I've been doing more and more of that. But oh, I did miss that comment. James said, "Don't take this wrong, but when you can't sleep, you listen to my live streams." Gotcha. That's the one I missed. No Birkenstocks here. Also, no Fish albums. Sam said some friends of his swear by CBD THC balms. Yeah, we've talked about them, and they're yeah. I'm like I said, I'm not going to discount anything I haven't tried, but and I'm all for being able to use something that's a little more, you know, natural. But like I said, when everything's going wrong, you do whatever you do to get through the day, right? Otis told me once, he's like, "Can't believe you're taking that much ibuprofen. That's bad for you." And I'm like, not working or like being able to have a life is bad for me as well. So, hey, what's up, Samuel? He said, spring drinking up here in Minnesota. I could imagine. Yeah. Tim said you can't stand the sound of your own voice. That's why you've not done anything on YouTube yet. Yeah, I like, you know, it's funny now that I talk almost in almost all my videos and like do the music video thing less. It's kind of a bummer to me because now I won't watch them back. Whereas when I just make a music video, say it's about one of our trips, then I could like put it on and like,
Tim Calendar subscribed to the channel.
oh, thanks, Tim. But yeah, it's like, so I could watch those videos back as like a little memory, like travelogue type thing. But when I talk in videos, it's like I never want to watch them back after I'm done with the editing and then uploading and making sure everything worked out the first time I watch it through on YouTube. But yeah, it's a weird thing. It's weird to look at yourself on camera. All this doing YouTube is a weird no matter what. So you just got to get over it. You just got to do it if you want to do it, you know. Marley said the balls are awesome. If you can get a spike one, they work even better. Josh said the doctor of osteopathy, they get down to the root cause instead of fixing the problematic area, then calling it a day. So yours wasn't a knee problem, that was a hip problem. And I think where people have sciatic pain a lot of times too, because mine like shoots down the hamstring. And even though it makes me want to like massage the hamstring and the calf when it gets down that far, I know it's a back issue as well. But Blackball said CBD bath bomb followed by CBD tea. That'll loosen your joints and you'll collapse into bed. I don't have a bath tub here, but so I can't do that. But yeah, I've bought like a CBD beverage here and there, which I know is not a any kind of real test of that stuff. So, you know, Mono Lake said if a standing desk works, then maybe you need to live in the mountainous area. Then you could do a lot of stand up riding. Sam said narrate the videos by singing my favorite songs. Oh, I am a horrible singer. I am really bad. Like I have no range. Yeah, I'm a really really awful singer. That's why I was a bass player. And my guitar player did want me to sing backups, but it would be like this song has to have the perfect like just where my voice is. Yeah, I'm really really bad at singing. Dimitri, you said don't talk in the video, but you slowly get to use your voice. For you, it's just hard to talk on camera. That's some people have the skill to be able to talk on camera. Um, Most of those people go into newscasting because there's good money if you could just talk on camera. It's something you really, really have to work on. Like the fact that I did that video on Saturday and only like 4 parts is amazing to me, and it just shows that I've been doing this more and more. But yeah, it was years ago when I first sat down to make my first YouTube video. I set out all this stuff. It was going to be about film photography. I'd been thinking about it all week. I turned on the camera and I couldn't say a word. Like, it was like, oh, I can't do this. I have a clip. It's just me looking at the camera and go, I'm going to be awful at this. So it takes it takes practice. And that's why I cut my videos like with so much B-roll because I mess up and I usually just layer stuff over top of it. So if it's like a video where I'm talking to the camera, and that's why I always shoot so much. I think it makes the videos more entertaining too to have something visually to look at. But like all the slow mo B roll and all that kind of stuff, yeah, that's because I'm messing up all the time. What you're not seeing me is like, just get it right, just say that one word that you want to say, So Zoom calls, yeah. I Zoom calls like I never FaceTime anyone. Like if someone like I see it coming through as a FaceTime call, I'm like, nope. Then just call them. Like yeah, that whole. I don't talk on Instagram. Like I never talk to the camera on Instagram. It's funny to say this as I sit here and live stream twice a week for hours, but something about this is different. But I was always nervous doing this too until yeah, even sometimes I still do get nervous, but up until like man, even like over the summer, I'd still like that countdown's going, and I'm like, oh, here we go, and then it starts rolling, and you guys start asking questions, and it just kind of fades away. You forget, but oh, Tim, you said you have a chopper ride into Utah to recover a plane crash. That might be the vid you make next week. Oh, that'd be cool. What's up, Thug? Gooch, you said you had joined your first ever fat bike race to help you get through the winter. The Polar Roll in Marquette, Michigan. Oh, sweet. Good night, Jaybird. Pudgy said pulpy nuts and massage balls. Just a typical Tuesday night with the boys. Yeah. Oh, Tim, yeah, that's definitely GoPro worthy. Have Ben do the voiceover on my next video. I could sing like Ann Curtis. Yeah, that's true. Lemmy made it work. Dimitri said you said Dimitri said you found live streaming helped a ton since it's more a conversation. You remember the first few times you tried to talk on camera, it took 6 takes to say hi. Yeah, I would. Yeah, for sure. Being conversational and my first few, like the first like month of live streaming was actually, I was always really nervous. I had a whole list of things to talk about, and you know, it's a lot easier now that we have like there's always like a really robust chat here, so it's like, yeah, I'm just reacting to what people are saying, so it makes it much easier, and it does put me at ease, and it does make it easier that when I do go to talk in a video, I kind of just used to the feeling a little more, but it's tough, you have that list and you want to like say certain things if you're making one with like certain points. It's, yeah, my mind, you're saying something and your mind is also trying to think of the next thing you need to say. That's a really strange place. It's much easier on the bike, like the way uh, uh, Josh makes a lot of his videos on the bike. Like if I make one like that where I'm riding somewhere, then the difference is too, I'm just talking about what's happening. And now I've actually been found it easier to turn the camera on myself and talk. At first, I just kind of had the camera pointing away from me, and I would talk from behind it or hook up a wireless mic, which was I felt to be an easy way to get into it. But yeah, I've become more and more comfortable with when I'm out riding, turning the camera around, and also there's takes. Obviously you guys never see. Like I go to say something, I see someone walking, I get self conscious, I stop talking or trip over my words, and I'm like, hey, when I go to this next intersection, I'll try again. But, oh, really, Tim? Tim said you had to present to car dealers for 15 years on the road. It just got boring. You just hate hearing your voice. It isn't stage fright. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess at first doing the live streams felt more like stage fright, and now it's just like trying to make the point you want to make and not mess it up and not spend 2 hours and tons of memory, cards and editing time. But Dimitri said, so if it's more editing, depending on what type of video, you can edit on mute. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it depends on what video, because a lot of times I'm listening for my voice to make the cuts. Good thing is with Premiere or whatever, whatever editing software you're using, you're looking at the audio. So I could go in and put the videos together without hearing it for a little while, but then I still want to I cut out a lot of what I say. I talk too much when I make videos sometimes. So it's like, I'm like, so I do need to listen back because I'll be like, this whole section doesn't even need to be in here. I'm just repeating the same thing, or it's another analogy that we don't need. So, but yeah. Master Disaster, you speak for a living. You get anxious every time, but relax after a few minutes. Well, thanks. I appreciate it, Master of Disaster. I think, I've been told throughout my life that I'm well spoken, like, so I don't think I have like, I'm not bad in like small group conversations. Yeah, it's just more turning on the camera and trying to be, yeah. Molly said, yeah, the way you pick up the camera and turn it to talk to it impresses you. You're scared when you get out your new GoPro. Out of the mount, you'll drop it. Yeah, well, I don't mount. I don't ever mount my. Well, I don't want to say ever. I rarely ever mount my GoPro, which helps. And the mouth mount I use is pretty grippy and easy to have a hang on. So like my GoPro is usually hanging on my pocket actually. So I put the mouth mount into my pocket and the GoPro is hanging out on the side. And I've only dropped my GoPros a couple of times to be honest. But Blackball said a video of bloopers and outtakes. That'd be a good. That'd be a fun thing to do for the members. Put that on the member stuff. But yeah, I I would like I don't like that wouldn't bother me like self-conscious. The times when I'm trying to record and I get really angry, I don't think I could ever share with anyone because it's like so I get if I mess up like over and over and over again, I get pretty frustrated. Sometimes I have to be like go do something else, like go clean your room for a minute, then come back relaxed, you know. Josh said, "You go off on tangents when you're taking a roll in the garage and have points where you need to cover, but sometimes the improv is gold, like 1 out of 50." There definitely times where I say something I didn't intend to say, and I'm like, "Oh, that was awesome." Um, and I only do like notes. Like I do like a rough outline or like 5 points I want to cover and just write those down. I find if I try to overplan what I'm going to say, then I really mess up. So for me, it does still have to be like, even though I might do something over and over again when I make a video where I'm talking to the camera down here, it is still pretty natural because I don't really ever say the same thing the same way twice. So, and I feel like that's part of it, that I need to keep it like that. Like I guess conversational, as Dimitri said, or if I think it'll one come across too rigid, and two, I'll never get it right if I was trying to say it to a T. So I know people write scripts. I would never consider writing a script for me. Everyone's different with this stuff. Gagging is a bit. I'm not even engaging with that stuff. What's up, Cridler? You said you grew up skateboarding during filming videos in the era before iPhones. It was frowned upon by peers to talk to the camera. Slowly overcoming decades of conditioning. Nice. Yeah, we carried video cameras when we were younger too. Like, you know, literally like the ones that took VHSs and did skate videos. Yeah, I don't think we ever did talk in the skate videos, but we also made movies. We'd made, you know, what did we call those? Shorts. Like we made like 5-10 minute like sketch little films all the time. So those were always talking, but those were meant to be goofball stuff. The bloopers video has to include cheesy sound effects. That'd be great. Is it 10 o'clock already? Oh yeah. Let's take a quick break. Yeah, I am gonna run, take a leak, and we'll be right back. And I'll grab that other container. I want to see what that coconut milk or coconut water we were talking about was. All right, 1 second. We are going to take a moment to thank our channel members. The channel member support is what makes doing all these streams possible, and there are no ads on these streams as they appear live because of the support of the channel members. If you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member or check out our little swag shop below, t-shirts, bandanas, stickers, and all that stuff. Or at the least, just hit that like button for us. All right, we will be back in 1 moment. Thanks as always for watching. Yep, the tuna boat is back. Finally got the latest channel member list up there, and made it in a way so there's room for more. Also, thanks, Josh. I saw your comment about the videos lately, but I I feel like one, I can only ride like when I'm riding locally the same place so many times and just put music to it. I still intend to do those because they're fun and I like making them, but I also feel like your channel is probably a little bit of an influence on how to do that because you do like where you do a ride and then cut in some talking to the camera and like have a topic while you're out riding. Like I also really like the dry January one you did. It was motivating for me as someone who's definitely trying to cut back. Oh, and also speaking of cutting back, you guys were right. The good brand of coconut water is the Vita or Vita, however it's pronounced. I assume it'd be Vita if it's got a Spanish to it, but yeah. So don't buy the Goya. It's got a bunch of bullshit in it. The Vita only has um, less than 1% sugar and vitamin C. Yeah, whereas this had all kinds of sulfites, preservatives, sugar. Yeah, bad purchase. So still gonna finish it though. Oh, there wasn't much left anyways. Racer said too many carbs in Vita. I'm comparing it though to the Goya, which is way more sugary. So, and has added sugar instead of just yeah. The Goya is double the sugar of the Vita. So this is the original one. So this is like the lighter one. But
James Huggins super chatted $5.
thanks, James. I appreciate it. Worst ad ever. Yeah, I'm a real shill for the coconut water industry. Tim said needs ice and vodka. Yeah. Trust me, I plenty of alcohol has gone in this system, but I don't mind drinking. I don't mind drinking something that's this is 90 calories for a bottle. That's compared to most beverages or your beer or whatever. And if you're drinking it, like I said, with riding or doing exercise, I rode at the trainer today. I'm not worried about that, especially if it means I'm not. It's helping me take a break from drinking probably on the stream 3 beers, right? Kirkland Organic. I'll look up that one though. All right. Reliable, what's up? Said secretly wishing for a spirit of the industrial. How would I say that? Industrialist vid. Vid. The Vita is. So they say there's 2 servings in a container. I usually drink both, but I sometimes don't. So it's 45 for a serving, but 90 for a container, and these are 16.9 ounces. Whereas the Goya, how big is this? 17 ounces, 170 calories. So Master of Disaster said, really like the tunes on my vids. You tried shazamming them for all the artists, and oftentimes they are not recognized. Master of Disaster, I link the actual song in all the descriptions, so you could go. I usually get them from places like the Free Music Archive. So yeah, and the reason they're probably not coming up on Shazam is because I'm using songs that are not right protected, or when it has like more of the instrumental electric vibe. There's a guy who makes film photography podcasts, and he makes all his music available for people to use on YouTube and podcasts. And he's on Bandcamp, so he's always linked in there. So go check him out for sure. I always buy the songs from him, so that's one of the things I spend the members' money on, like the money that comes in from members. So I always buy the songs from him. It's like he doesn't have a price, so I usually pay at least $3 for songs, sometimes more if I'm going to use them a number of times. So what do you mean? What are the carbs? What's the difference between a carb and sugar? Um, all the sugar, all the calories come from the carbs in coconut water. So it's 23 grams for a bottle of Vita, 23 grams for the whole 17 ounces. It's at 16.9. Yeah, 17 ounces. 23 grams of carbs, 20 grams of total sugar. Uh, this is 40 grams. You said calories don't matter, carbs. That's where they come from, right? And it's something like a beverage. It's just
Blackball 2006 super chatted $1.49. Pudgy, life is not just nut pulp and healing balls.
I'm bummed that I don't know how to do it. I actually have never had to super chat, but James, I think there's a trick where you have to enter the chat and then turn it into a super chat so the guy says it. You guys have to tell me. I'm not sure. But Josh, you just said you're new to Swifting. Can you ride with friends? Yes. So you could set up rides, group rides on Zwift, Josh, and you could chat like on the keyboard. What a lot of people also do, and Party Size Cycling has a group, they use like the Discord voice servers to actually talk out loud to each other during a ride. But yeah, just to ride and chat, you can totally do it. They have a way to join other Zwifters, but you could also set up a group ride and a time to be there. We've talked about doing that on here, even on during a stream. I was talking to my buddy who owns Missing Falls Brewing. Just he's gotten really into riding indoors. But
Pudgy Pedal Pusher super chatted $1.99. Don't tell me how to live my life, blue ball.
yeah, so you could set up clubs too. So you could set up like a club, so like the club could plan club rides. But yeah, you can also just do invites. I did a couple of, if I don't know if you follow Dustin Klein, Josh, but I did. He was doing them a couple years ago when I first got my trainer, and I went on a couple of his rides. Well, he was actually live streaming, and then the rest of us were just chatting and riding, so it was cool. But I've heard of Keto Racer. Yeah, I'm just saying, like for like something like this, where I usually drink maybe 3/4, you know, so what, 18 grams of sugar for as much as I move around, I'm not worried about. But I get it. You have a restriction that you're trying to stick to. So, oh, super. That's where Dimitri. That's where we got super chatted from. Yeah, that sounds exactly like that. So,
Raymond Doringer became a member.
hey, Raymond, welcome aboard. Thanks. But yeah, that's why if you guys are in the Discord, if you're newer and you hadn't noticed the just chatting category, once we added that voice, we changed it to just chatting for that reason. So. Racer, I'm in Akron, Ohio. Yeah. Well, Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, on the border with Akron. Oh, there's Party Size. Said you can also use the Discord to video chat to compare saddle sores with your friends live. I have a friend, Carl, right now. He's training for this ride in Michigan, and they do rides, and they actually have a Zoom call open with his coach. So there's like, I can't remember how many he said are in the class, but yeah, he has like a side angle camera and she's like giving him advice on position and everything while they're doing Swift rides. So, oh, Racer, what's up? You said you're a long time member of DK's. Nice. Hey, what's up, Mile High? How's it going? Oh, I wanted to make that's another thing I want to do is I want to make more commands for this chat, but I want to make one that links to common birds. So I'm waiting. I thought we were going to get the snow the other night. I've got a great song from the Common Birds Mile High's band to use in a video, but it's got to be a snow ride video. So yeah, Josh, I also just go in free ride sometimes. I just pick a route and ride it. That's what I've been doing the last couple days. You could join, the big group rides, but yeah, all kinds of stuff on there. My friend Kenny, who's gotten into it, is really digging it. He's Zwift, but he's got a couple little ones, and he's part working from home when he's not at the brewery. So he just has not had the time to get out on the bike, and he wants to get back in shape for when he does have the time. And so, yeah. You guys are all talking about diet. I don't want to dive into that, but Dylan says he eats vegan, but is very aware of condescending attitudes. So only talks about it when asked. And yeah, like I've always said, I'm not anything in specific, but I'm a vegetarian at home. I know that means nothing to someone who's a vegan, but I was vegetarian for a big chunk of my life, and I still cook vegetarian. And I don't buy really processed foods, so I eat fairly healthy. Uh, Stuff like this is as someone who drinks too much, it's a way not to be drinking, but to have a beverage. So I'll I'll take 20 grams of sugar instead of drinking 3 beers tonight. That's the trade-off I make. I make tea sometimes too. It doesn't have to be a sugary drink. I'll make tea and drink it at the nights, but I just like having a beverage, and beer has become my habit. So because I love beer, but love craft beer. Just have for a long time, but been drinking too much, yeah, for a while. So Racer said it's the carbs that spike insulin and make you fat for sure. Yeah, too much sugar for sure. You said you lost 35 pounds last year. No, congratulations. You said you can do a 50-mile ride without eating anything. Not me. I'll bonk. I would bonk so hard. 33, 34 miles I'll bonk if I don't eat some sugar. I have to have carbs when I ride. I don't know how you do 50. I don't know how you do 50 miles without eating anything. That's crazy. I More power to you, but yeah, that ain't happening for me. I will, because I know Cleveland. If I ride the towpath to Cleveland, that's 35 miles, and I can't make it to Cleveland or home without having something. So that's kind of where I got my metric from. I know I need to stop, not stop, but I just need to take on a bar or something. And I prefer to do it something more natural. I'm not someone who likes to carry gels or sports nutrition. I like dried figs are a good ride food for me. But worst comes to worst, I'll just go get peanut M&Ms or something from the gas station. But everyone's different. James said you don't know much about super chat. You're just a lurker. Yeah. Yeah, there's just a way to make it so if they're where that guy pops on and says everything with the funny British accent. But Chris said it's fine. You enjoy all the food. You do love some vegan dishes. Yeah. Yeah, don't care for the dogmatic. Yeah, I don't I have like no problem with anyone's diets. Like seriously, like there's nothing you couldn't tell. I mean, I don't know, unless you're doing something. That's just what Pudgy said. I eat the way you eat and don't care how others eat unless it's babies or Arby's. Arby's. That's funny. Dimitri, yeah, send us. If it's gonna be cold, I don't mind the snow. I'd rather like today it's 20. I'd rather be snowing a little bit. Like I don't want it to be like last winter where we just kept getting dumped on and then we couldn't do anything. Uh, the trails were blocked up like most of the winter because they don't plow them around here or anything. So yeah, I don't want to get these storms that just dump and then we can't do anything. But yeah, like uh, getting some snow, I wouldn't. It's winter and it's going to be cold. It's prettier around here when it's snowy. You know, Akron and the Falls are a pretty place in the summer when the leaves are out or in the fall. But it's if it's just like the leaves are gone and there's no snow, it's just power lines and yeah, it's ugly. So you're in Minnesota, so we get your weather. Yeah, and we're where we are here too. So if the weather turns and starts coming out of the north, is when we can get lake effect, and it could just bury us really really quick. So we're not we're not too far from Lake Erie here to get dumped on. In general, it hits past Cleveland to the east, just the way like the lake effect is just a normal weather pattern. We'll dump it over there all winter long. But yeah, sometimes when the weather turns and starts coming from the north, we'll get a lot. Oh, how far? Man, I'm away from the bottom of the chat. Colorado sending some Siberian chill our way. Yeah. Pudgy slamming the Gushers fruit snacks. Talk about grams of sugar. Party size says hopped seltzer, game changer. I keep forgetting to try that. Yeah, I don't really want to try just like non-alcoholic beer. That doesn't like really interest me. But something like that's adjacent but intentionally different sounds more interesting. So I need to go though to Akron Coffee Roasters. They have some tea right now. I photographed it a while ago and then tasted it, and uh, just fantastic beyond anything I'd ever had. So much more flavor without even having to add honey or sugar or anything like that. So I do want to get some of that too. Reliable Waste said Zwift Scotland should be fun. Yeah, so Zwift's about to have a new world. It's only going to be for racing at first, and then they're going to add it for free riding down the road. So we'll see. Mile High said it's been brutal. You rode 40 miles in 25 degrees this past weekend. Still getting out, but it takes 5 layers. Yeah. I found what I do too. I used to go out and just be like cold for a while until I warmed up. Now I find out like I'll like start out with if it's really cold, like really cold for me, like low 20s. Start out with the down jacket, then just stop and take it off before I break a sweat. Racer said, let's talk about bikes. Yeah, this has been one of the, well, we talked about bike injuries, but yeah, this has been one of the light on bike chats. Master of Disaster said, is 3 beers really drinking too much? No, I don't think I, I mean, they say no, there's no level of alcohol that's supposed to be good for you, but I'm not going to abstain completely personally. When I've quit completely, I don't enjoy it. Like I want to have beer sometimes. I like going to breweries, but 3 beers all the time is too much. Like 3 beers every single day, I feel like is too much for me. So yeah, I just want to have nights where I don't have any beers. You know, I could drink a beer. I could drink beer every day. Like I love beer. Like I could easily have dinner and then have beer after. It's like I have a huge sweet tooth. Beer like satisfies that. So for me, it's just trying to manage it a little more. To have beer when there's something going, when I'm doing something fun. Out riding my bike, like we were saying, riding my bike to a brewery, then having a beer, like riding to an event and having a beer. But Party Size said the Hoplark Hibiscus Tall Boy. Huh. I don't know if I haven't. I don't think I've seen Hoplark around here. So Tim said you bought a Crossmax wheel set for your vintage Rocky Mountain. Nice. Racer was saying you need to train your body to burn fat. Yeah, I'm not gonna deny that. I'll just say over here, there's not a lot to burn. There might be a little bit right here at age 44, but yeah, I need carbs to ride. Blackball said, Tim, you just described your love for beer and subsequent habitual use in the evenings. It's good to have a break for recalibration. Yeah. Hey, Racer, we have a difference of opinion. I, we just have a difference of opinion. And I mean, the pro Peloton, I think people who ride the Tour de France eat carbs and ride 200 kilometers a day eating carbs. So I don't bonk when I don't eat. I don't bonk when I eat carbs. I bonk when I don't eat carbs. So, but it's just a different. That's fine. And everyone's different. Party size said, "I make any bike a fat bike." Oh, I just scrolled down and missed like a ton of comments. I was way behind too. Oh, probably missed saying goodnight to Josh, but good night, Josh. Oh wow, I'm really far behind on the comments. Sam did say peanut butter better than gels. That's what I was saying. I like things like dried figs and stuff. I like to, I like the more natural stuff when I plan ahead. You know, there's plenty of times where I just am out riding and I didn't plan ahead or I rode farther than I planned to ride and I need some sugar. So yeah, I also think a lot of the sports nutrition pudgy, like you were saying, peanut butter and jelly is just it's the same thing and it's just less satisfying to eat. I would rather, and it's real wasteful. A lot of that stuff comes in, I don't know, very disposable packaging, which I don't like. You know, so I kind of like that's why one thing is still disposable packaging, but I like untapped because it's just maple sugar, maple syrup. You know, but lots of meat in this chat. All right, let me see if I can get caught up. Blackball said he lives on rice cakes and peanut butter, Lara bars, and coffee. You could call me vegan if you wanted to. Oh, Racer said, shout out to your man, Ben Doom. He just took first in the Arrowhead 135 fat bike race. Nice. Muskrat said, beer before sleep, not so good. Yeah, and that's the problem. That's when I like it. That's when I want. So there's times when was finishing the stream, then I'd like crack one more beer to watch, watching TV with the beer. It's just so enjoyable to me. But yeah, it's a bunch of calories before you go to bed. Not good. Tim said fat tires are guilty go to. Yeah, I'm more of a usually I want more, but I'm seasonal with drinking too. I really like hazies, but in the winter I'll order stouts. So party size said fruit by the foot on the long rides. Nice. Party size, you were trying to get a fruit by the foot sponsorship. Let's see. Oh man, I cannot find where we were. Tim, do I own any 80s Italian road bikes? My favorite road bike years. I do not own any 80s. I don't own any Italian road bikes, actually. And it's probably just because most Italian road bikes are really nice. A lot of my collection is pretty run of the mill. So none of my bikes are super valuable, you know. My collection is 70s and 80s. So I guess my Chaton is 70s on the earlier side. The Barry Hoban and Viscount are probably late 70s and then, yeah, 80s stuff. But What's up, Eric? You said you're doing the PA to DC ride in May. Any advice? That's kind of too broad a question. It just depends on how you're trying to do it. We planned all ahead, but I would say uh, for the C&O canal, there's plenty of camping that you don't have to be very regimented if you don't want to, because there's just so much camping right on the trail. I would for the Gap Trail, I would want to plan ahead on where you're going to stay. I guess that would be my piece of advice. But yeah, we really enjoyed it. I would just say especially for the CNO, in my opinion, I would say plan it so you do have time to check stuff out. Like Harper's Ferry is really cool. We stayed there, which made it easy to like in the evening and then in the morning to have time there. But if you haven't been to Harper's Ferry, I think it's worth spending some time around there. And yeah, hey, what's up, Charles? How you doing? Yeah, I've never looked into Cato. I mean, I would look into it. Like I said, I don't know how I don't know how conducive it is to being mostly vegetarian. Mile High, you said you don't eat on rides either. You find that you bonk more when you stop, huh? Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I have to eat on rides. It's just the way I am. When I ran, I never ate on runs, but I never ate anything running half marathons. That's the farthest I run. Used to run, uh, but yeah, on rides I have to eat. Yeah, like I said, over 30 miles. I could ride 30 without eating easy, but Racer said the vintage mountain bike. So, with the vintage mountain bike, I'm going to I first build it up mostly with just the parts that came with it, like that came in that collection of vintage mountain bike stuff. Because, as I mentioned, this is my priority right now, which is the gunner, and I'm already invested with a wheel set, uh, those Nito handlebars, a new Brook saddle. So, I got the brakes too, the Grotex. So, yeah, I'm not going to be putting money into the stump jumper right now. I'm going to build it up so I could ride it, but I'm going to see how I feel about it and then like see where it falls in the lineup, and then that'll be more of a plan to uh, be kind of like probably the next thing that I would invest in. But yeah, I don't want to I just don't have the resources to spend tons of money on all kinds of bikes, just like most of us. Yinzer House, you asked if doing the Erie to Ohio Trail is worth it. Yeah, we did it 3 years in a row. I definitely think it's worth it. I would say it's much more of a bike tour than bike packing, if that distinction means anything to you. But it's similar. Uh, yeah, the thing with the gap in the CNO is you never have to think about where you're going because you're what 90%, 95% on trail. Ohio to Erie is well marked, but it's much more varied because Ohio to Erie is a bunch of different. It's a collection of different bike paths and some country roads. So I actually kind of like the Ohio to Erie for that reason, as it changes. So, but you definitely have to do planning to do Ohio to Erie, though. I think like I wouldn't want to wing it. Like I would want to. We always planned where we were going to be staying, so we knew what our days were and stuff like that. So I would definitely. To me, that would be advice for Ohio to Erie, but I think it's worth it. I mean, you go through some cool, you know, you go through like actual cities, you go through some small towns. We would modify ours, being that we live in Ohio, we know people, and other people joined us at different points, and we stayed at a friend's house one night in Columbus. But yeah, I think it's recommended. I would recommend it. I said we did it two more times after the first time. We modified the routes the second two times to make it a little different and skip some of the stuff that we weren't as crazy about. But yeah, it's a fun ride. I think it's a worthwhile uh, ride, especially if you're not super far away. And that your name is Yinzer House. I'm guessing you're in Pittsburgh. Let's see where we are. God damn, am I still that far behind? Uh, Mile High asked if I ever ride the I'll see if I pronounce this. Podre Trail to Greeley or Foco? No, I don't even know where that is. Sunflower butter. I I tried that when I worked at the farm too. Yeah, Large Marge just recommended the mushrooms, his 200 milligram mushroom pills. But she said you could ride 50 miles without eating if you do meth. Racer said you wish you could do beer, but the carbs, yeast, and gluten really mess you up. Yeah, I have a friend who loves beer and he can't drink it anymore. For him, it's the gluten, and he's not a. He believes it's the gluten. What's the people who can't digest gluten? Doesn't matter. His doctor told him that's not a problem, and he just knows it makes him sick, so he doesn't drink beer anymore, and he misses it. So, oh, Large March said Whole Foods and Heinen's have Hoplark around here. Oh, good to know. I guess that's why I've never seen it. I don't ever go to Whole Foods or Heinen's. And you could order it online. Oh, nice. Racer said, your opinion on vintage bikes. Old road bikes look nice, are nice to look at. Vintage touring bikes and mountain bikes are where it's at if you want to build a capable bike. Yeah, that's definitely the direction I've gone. So I'm looking over at a wall with, well, I'll show you. So everything hanging over there is a vintage road bike. A couple of them I've gone down to uh, I was able to go from a 27 to a 700C, so I could get like that yellow one has 38s on it, so that's not too bad. Um, my vintage 1982 Trek can get 32s, but no, I agree. That's kind of been a change for me as well. But I do like riding the vintage road bike sometimes. But yeah, with the way we ride and that we might hit off road, that's why I prefer the gravel bike or the old mountain bike more now. So uh, yeah, old road bikes just ride so nice and they're so fun, and they are cool. I don't think anything looks cooler than a vintage road bike personally, like you said. Good night, Chris, if you're not already gone. Uh, Raymond said this episode has been a mix of Dr. Oz, the Food Network, and GCN. Nice. Oh man, I cannot. I cannot keep up. At least it didn't go into Infowars. Yeah. Charles said almost all your bikes are 8 speed. I have a lot of 9 speed. I guess I wouldn't say most. The bikes I ride the most are more around 9 speed, but I put 9 speed on some of the vintage bikes. That Trek that was hanging up over there is running vintage 9 speed and or running 9 speed, and so is the Barry Hoban. But yeah, I guess my road bikes are the true vintage ones are 6 speed for the most part, but they're all friction, so it just depends on what wheel I put on it. Uh, like all the old ones, down tube friction shifting ones. So, Racer said he's really good friends with the crew from Onyx Hubs, and a couple of those guys have some really nice gunners. Yeah, so this gunner is my buddy Otis owns a bike shop, and he that was his bike, and he traded me the frame for video and photography work I do for him. So now I'm building it up. Wish those hubs weren't so damn heavy, and their powder coat quality control is terrible. Oh, Yinzer is from Pittsburgh. Nice. Yeah, that's get to Pittsburgh a decent amount now. And even when we did the Gap and CNO, we spent the full. We got to Pittsburgh early and spent the night cruising around and getting beer. And Charles says you like the Gunner but preferred the Crown fork over the newer rounded fork. Yeah, me too. I like that look better. Uh, Racer says electric light mix: coconut water, Himalayan salt, apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, and monk fruit. Oh, Mile High, I got you. You're asking the other Tim. You guys were having a conversation about Bike Pass. Yeah, sorry. Reliable ways to use the gunner crosshairs for randoneering, randoneering. Yeah, just happened to be a perfect, comfortable fit. Nice. Celiac is what you call people who can't eat gluten. Yinzer, yeah, I would definitely go rigid fork if you have the option for Ohio Erie. There'd be nothing there where you would need suspension, especially if you have tires that are comfortable. But people ride Ohio. I've ridden Ohio Erie on 32s and wasn't an issue. I I'm always going to ride on like wider now, just because I always my daily drivers on 42s. But yeah, I rode Ohio Erie on my vintage Trek twice with, and tire wise, it was fine. I would always prefer more comfort these days, but. Eddie Welker, what's up? Yeah, those man, those Onyx hubs, I love how silent they are because I like quiet. I like quiet hubs too, but yeah, man, those, and I'm not even a weight weenie, but some of those things are really boat anchors, huh? Oh, Mile High said he loves silent hubs too. Yeah, I think that might come from the fact that I really like vintage bikes, and like when you have everything tuned up right and like the bike just doesn't sound like anything, like I know nothing's going wrong, So I guess that's probably where I'm coming from. Like the whole really loud Chris King thing is not my cup of tea. So, which this one, I think this bike is going to have a louder. It's not bad. You won't be able to hear that on camera, I don't think. But Otis was saying we could pack more grease in here to make it even more quiet. But it's not. It's not annoyingly loud. But has anyone ever converted a vintage road bike to 650B? Yeah, you just need brakes that'll reach, like I think someone said that down there a little farther. But yeah, Tektro. I've got a couple of Tektros that would probably reach 650s. Um, it's a good idea. Uh, I think it's a good way to go with some of them. Onyx powder coating is terrible. I'll let Jim know. He owns it. I didn't know anything about. I don't know anything about that. That's not my opinion. I've just had someone put one of them in my hand. Otis actually at the bike shop, and I was like, "Whoa!" Felt like someone put lead in your hand. Like, what is my vintage Trek? It's a 1982 Trek 500, and so that one I went from 27 to 700 to get the 32 millimeter wheels in there. And then the drivetrain is actually off the bike that I have on my trainer right here. And I took this apart to put it on there. So this bike's from 2007. So it's a 9-speed Shimano from 2007. That is the group set on that bike with the triple 3x9. It's a 3x9 actually, which made it a good touring bike because I could ride that bike fast as a road bike, but I could also ride it loaded as a touring bike. The only problem with the vintage Trek, it's not one of their touring models. I was putting all the weight on the back then, so it was a little unstable in the front. So I couldn't really like comfortably ride no-handed. But again, I just took an old road bike and toured on it, and not a touring bike. So, but looks cool. Looks really cool. It's the last year before they changed from the old Trek logo on the decal. But Hey, what's up, Danny Smith? How's it going? And then I have my old mountain bike, which was a Trek from 2001, which is my snow bike now. I leave 45 North Gravdales on it. All. Racer doesn't mind hub noises, but when it sounds like you just kicked a beehive. Yeah. Danny says he likes his Go Devil All City hub. It is a lot quieter than most. It's interesting. I talked about this on the channel before, but I guess with Chris King, I was watching him interviewed, uh, and the noise of the hubs was a consequence of them actually making them a much better hub. And he was saying how his next plan was to figure out a way to make them much more quiet after they had built such a quality hub. And then all the feedback was that people didn't want them to be more quiet. They paid for a Chris King and it had that Chris King sound. So they kind of gave up on that whole idea of trying to make them quiet. And Crust Bike sells a Canty 650B version fork long reach brakes for the rear. Hmm. Oh, hey, what's up, Obsolescence? Been a little while since the live chat. Yeah, I do have a Viscount. Obsolescence, I have a. Uh, come on. It's the. Oh, come on. I can't think of the name of the model off the top of my head. I just went totally blank. But I do have a Viscount. Yeah, and mine has the third gen aluminum fork. So it has the original aluminum fork, but supposedly the safe one. So, yeah. That was the road bike that really, when I was really getting back into riding, I was riding it like crazy. I took it completely apart and built it back up, and that's, even all the bearings and everything, and that's when I really started to learn about bikes. So even clear coated it and stuff like that. But yeah, the bike's super sentimental to me for that reason. Racer said recently sold an '84 Trek 720. Weren't the 720s the touring ones also with the longer chainstays? $20, nice. A 531 Reynolds bike too. Yeah, I have some 105s from that era too, Eduardo. Yeah, they don't make a noise at all. Aerosport Racer, thanks. Yeah, Aerosport GP. Yeah. Bike pics. Oh yeah, let's check out some bike pics. Oh, this is what Pudgy was saying about the powder coating, I guess. Yep. Oh, Racer, you said you have a '76 Aerosport. Just be careful with those. If you've never done the research, the earlier versions have very dangerous. The way the fork is attached to the steerer is not very good, and they earned the nickname the Death Fork. It actually sunk Viscount and Lambert as a company completely over time. Anyone who's looking at Viscounts or Lamberts, if you have the aluminum fork, the original aluminum fork, uh, there's a way to test to see which fork you have, but you basically take the wheel out and put a magnet up underneath the fork, and if it sticks, it has a steel steer, and you should be all right. If not, ride at your own risk. So, uh, yeah, I could fit 32s on there, obsolescence. So yeah, not too bad of clearance. I have that's the max. Maybe you could fit more in the front, but in the chain stays limit you to about 32. So not bad clearance for a vintage road bike. But yeah, a multi-track wouldn't be an 84, right? Didn't they not start using that name till much later? Hey, what's up, Bradley? Racer, you said you got the right fork. Yeah, I made a whole video about the Viscount, and I pulled up some of those diagrams and everything. They show what to look for. They recalled them all, no matter what. All the aluminum forks are recalled and replaced with the chromoly fork if you send them back. But I definitely saw a guy selling a Generation 1 on Craigslist, and I let him know. I'm like, uh, you're selling a bike that has a reputation to be really dangerous, so, you know, up to you, but I would probably let people know, you know, as someone unassuming you just buy the bike and you have no idea and you're not someone who's into like the nerdy research, you could. I did see your picture obsolescence too. You were working on a uh, your hard rock tonight. Then who I saw that weren't you saying obsolescence? Yeah, who had just bought the exact same one? Oh, Rob. Yeah, Rob just scored this guy too. Sold hard rock. I think he was talking about turning this into a winter bike with some studded tires.
Commercial rider subscribed to the channel. Richard subscribed to the channel.
Thanks, dudes. Um, Racer said it was a multi-track and it was their top of the line touring bike, very spendy. Okay, yeah, I didn't. I thought they started using the multi-track name more in the '90s. I didn't realize they were using it back in the '80s. But I am not. I'm not a complete expert on Trek's history. I had a multi-track from the '90s that got stolen when I was at college. But oh, obsolescence. You said same tires he was talking about too. That link that Racer dropped in the Racer, the link that Pudgy just dropped in the Discord, where Stream Elements has the link. That's where I'm pulling the photos from. Charles, you said you have the 280 gel Mavic wheels on your Vitus 979, which are so lightweight they have been known to fail. Yeah, and I have on my like raciest road bike, I have those Bontrager race lights with the low spoke count in front, and those are known to fail too. Uh, Aaron had them too. Aaron actually used them on a tour on Ohio to Erie, and the spokes actually like the holes in the hub like ripped through with like it being weighted down. We got really lucky that there was a bike shop not that far away that the guy sold her a wheel off one of his personal road bikes. This was her Surly Pacer, but yeah, those are kind of the same way, like lightweight from this when everything was being made stupid light and not that safe. So Tim said your GT Mach got stolen in high school. Pour one out for the lost ones. Yeah. Racer said they're like other companies turned their touring bikes into hybrids in the late 80s. Oh, I was also looking at Gantaplex dropped this picture of his single speed in here. I don't think he's in the chat tonight, but look at this gear. What gear is he running here, man? 50 13 or something? I wanted to ask. I just saw that before we came on the stream, but yeah, I was like, that's super cool. And I was like, man, that dude is turning a massive gear. Party size said 48 spokes are GTFO. Sam said, now that's a proper single speed. And Charles said, that man is a beast. Like, yeah, right? I'm not crazy, right? That's a massive gear, right? Yeah. Ooh, fixation with the Mesa straps. I love those. I have those on my vintage Trek. Uh, I love the straps, especially when we were touring. Just that comfort, and then with the flat pedals, you could just flip them upside down if you don't want your feet in there. I should put those pedals on something else that I ride a little more now. Cats for days. Yeah, that is a. He also posted a photo of his a folder. I don't know if it's a Brompton or not. But, oh, my head. Oh, it is a Brompton. Charles says you ride 4916 in Athens. Well, that's a big gear for Athens too. I've ridden in Athens. Like those hills into downtown are steep. So I used to like, but that's another thing. Like riding the vintage bikes, where the easiest gear is not that easy. Um, like I rode my PL10N forever, and now when I think of like climbing up some of the steep hills around here on that, you know, I don't think my knees want that at this age anymore. But Racer says you love strap pedals, best of both worlds. Yeah, that's how I feel. Like all my vintage bikes have, except that Trek, have cages for the most part, which I don't mind. But on long days, like my feet do start to get like pushed against the front of the cage. But oh yeah, Pudgy, Athens, Georgia, not Athens, Ohio. That's right. Sorry. um, Tim said SPD or walk. Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have any bikes with clipless. I'm not anti clipless. I've made a whole pedal video. I'm not interested. I have a bunch of bikes. I don't want to put. I don't want to wear the shoes. Is basically the thing.
Racer X84107112 became a member.
Oh hell yeah! Thanks, Racer. Everyone who's become members tonight too, either through Discord or Instagram or wherever. Google my email address. It's easy. Look up Fitzwater Photo. Send me a message with your address, and I'll send you some stickers and patches. I always do that. And if you're a new member and you're interested, I've got a bunch of grab stuff and yeah, Fitzwater stuff. So yeah, stuff like that. Smaller ones for your bike. So I appreciate it. And yeah, send me your address, and I'll send you some stuff. The patches are just simple screen printed ones, Pudgy, that just say Fitzwater Cycles. But I've got a couple in your box of goodies already. So Marley said after years of SPD, SL, and walking like shit, walking like you shit your pants. The recessed shoes are so good. Yeah, and if I went that way, that's what I would do. But I'm just cool with flats. I just don't have a problem with them. But I do like the straps a lot. Vintage bikes I ride with cages, but my gravel bikes and mountain bikes and the Gunner build, um, they're gonna get flat pedals. This one, I really like the. I'm gonna put the same ones I put on it. The oh come on, Deity Blade Runners. Those are my pedals of choice. Just love the power stroke of SPD. I know you doesn't matter. Nobody who rides clipless will ever believe it, but the science doesn't show that there's any extra power of being clipped in. But everyone, again, that's my whole opinion. Is everyone should ride what makes them comfortable. So I'm not like anti anything, but yeah, you don't have to unsub and resub. Just Mile High. Just send me your address. Uh, Yeah, Racy said rider may bail at any time. I think that's a lot of the thing for me too. Is just we just go, we're riding a road ride, and then we just take a cut down some like abandoned railroad tracks, and I want to be able to, or we take these cuts, these weird like mountain bike like, but no man's land trails we ride. So I just like to be able to be, yeah, have my feet free. Plus, I like to wear the shoe. I ride everywhere I go. I ride to lunch. I ride to, ride to get beers. We ride and we hang out. So I just like having my Vans on. I like wearing the shoes that I like wearing, but that's just personal. Bradley, you're all about the death traps. Yeah. Charles says you bought some of the chrome ones that have the SPDs. 8 hour for riding and 6 hours for walking. You could drive a clutch BMW without slipping on the pedal. Nice. Eduardo said toe clip pedals make you nervous. So I actually think like toe clip vintage like toe cages are more dangerous than modern clipless. Like so I don't not ride clipless because you know the main reason of not being able to get out of them isn't my main reason. I'm just fine with flats and I like wearing my Vans. But yeah, toe cages is a two-part motion to get out of them. Where clipless you're just depending on whatever, just twisting and putting your foot down. But when you're in a toe cage, I've fallen over just forgetting my feet are in the cages, like the old school kind. But yeah, Black Cats. Eddie Welker said, yeah. It's funny because Erin has small feet, so she actually doesn't like flat pedals that are that big. She got the new wolf tooth ones, and she's still deciding whether she likes them. She feels like they're a little too big for her, which is something I've never considered because, like the Blade Runners are nice and big, and I really like them. So, Pudgy said, for you, it depends on the ride. Gravel and mountain bike, you go SPD. For touring and bike packing, you go sandals and flats. And Large said SPD for everything except sub 20 degrees, then flats and big boots. Well, Large, you've also gone tours. Didn't you do a couple of the tours on flats? I know you did ride clipless a couple times too, but Bradley said riding in Berks, weather permitting, is your jam. Sandals, I don't think will ever be my thing. I just feel like, man, I don't know. I feel like I need coverage on my feet, but that's again personal. But Issy thumps are your favorite platform pedals. Yeah, I've seen those at the bike shop. I had some of the deity compounds, and once I got Blade Runners, I mean, I almost felt like I was clipped in. I just love them, so I know they work for me. And I've got thousands and thousands of miles on Blade Runners, so it's just what I'm gonna, tours, mountain biking, gravel riding. So what I'll stick with because I know it works. Eddie said your sister was doubtful about wide flats, but now she's come around. It takes time for some. Yeah, yeah. My girlfriend Erin is super, super. Like I said, saying earlier about bike fit and just bike components. She knows what she likes and what she doesn't, but she will give something a chance. Yeah, obsolescence. You do rock those flip flops. I know that. Crocs give coverage. Yeah. Bradley had the Birkenstock tan lines. Yeah, Danny, that's what I skateboard shoes and flats. Vans old schools and flat pedals are my combination. But, you know, Mile High said you always feel like you're going to stub and break a toe in sandals. That's how I would feel. It's too exposed for me. But then again, I watch those guys out in New England, just like Ronnie and them, like bombing and what's his name, Jared from Hope and those guys, and I'm riding off road. But yeah, shoes are what I'm going to wear. Shoes. That's just me. Alejandro said when you do SPT, you tend to sprint sometimes, and if your legs get tired, when you do SPT, you tend to sprint sometimes. Your leg gets tired, then your foot doesn't slip off, but otherwise flat pedals feel the same. Yeah. Wide flats, platform with the spikes. Yeah. I've never ridden the bear traps. No, I've seen the bear traps, but I've never ridden them. Oh, the let's see. Yeah, no way. It's funny, but yeah. Tim said, "You ate shit downtown Breck riding with sandals. Never again. It's pretty dumb. Booze might have been involved." That's one of my problems as well. That's why I think, But I'm not a sandal wearer anyways. I don't walk around in sandals ever. Like, I've never been to a bar with sandals on. So again, like, that's just not my, it's not more comfortable to me because it's never how I do things. So. Clipless Crocs, yeah. How late is it? Oh, it's 11:10. Yeah, I got to get to bed. Jeez. This has been a good conversation. Just gone everywhere tonight. Got 2 new channel members, couple super chats. Great night on the stream. We'll get into more bike pictures on Thursday because I've seen people have posted a bunch of them. So, yeah, Thursday, why don't we focus? Everyone drop bike pics, and on Thursday, that's what we'll focus on. But oh, this is one of Racer's. I'll pull this up before we sign off since he got in there. Nice. Is that what happens when you ride in tow cages? I like the detail, like even like the dropouts in the rear with the little cutout and everything. That's sweet, man. Well, I guess if you're a man, a dude, person, dude to me is totally gender neutral for the record. But Reliable Waste said your knees can never get used to SPD. One of the reasons I am more interested in SPD is I feel like I would like being able to dial in my fit on the just the way where my foot would always fall in the same place. It does on flats, but like when you stop or you like move your foot around, it takes me sometimes my foot is out of place for a little bit until I get it back in there. But Keen clipless sandals are the mullet of cyclist shoes. All right, we got to wrap this up. We're going to go forever. It's getting late. Yeah, let's do bike pics on Thursday. I do have a photo shoot, but it's scheduled for 5:30. They didn't tell me the ending time. I have a hard time believing it's going to go late, but I will let everyone know in the Discord as usual. Yeah, we got to wrap it up. We're going to keep, like, I know there's still some questions, but we'll save it for the next time, or we'll keep the conversation going in the Discord. I've got to get to bed. But yeah, thanks everyone as always for joining, and should hopefully see everyone on Thursday. But yeah.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Cause
Yeah.
this is not okay.
Fitzwater photo.